You was at the baby shower? Mm-hmm. What baby shower?
Fantasia.
You was at Fantasia's baby shower?
Yeah.
She was singing there too?
Other people were singing for her.
Oh, interesting. You gotta come over a little bit. One. Did you grind it out today? Did you? And today's gonna be a doozy of a topic. Hey, what's up? Hanging with the Joneses, episode number
54? 3?
53. Good job. I'm Rashad.
I'm Kesha.
And before we get totally started, if you've been with us, man, we appreciate you. If you've been lurking in the background, go ahead and subscribe. Especially to only
background.
Yeah, thank you. Martin reference. The kids love it. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe so we can get our numbers up. Again, the more you subscribe, the more YouTube thinks that people want to see this, and it bumps us up. So that would be amazing. If you listen on the podcast, we appreciate you. We see the streams. Well, I see the streams. Kesha has no idea about analytics at all. For real. We appreciate you.
And before, because last time he kind of spit it out when we was leaving, Rashad graduated with his master's in education. So just kind of get a round of applause for him for doing the thing and staying dedicated.
Yeah, cheers to me. It's been an arduous and laborious task, and I'm glad to pretty much be 95% done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 more classes, and then it'll be officially over. I have a confession. If you know me and listen to this podcast, you know how much I hate reality TV, like with a passion. But I do have to make a small confession. I have an affinity for basically 2 in particular. One is Shots of Sunset.
You admit that?
Yeah,
Shots
I do. Yeah,
snap.
I do. I will admit that. The other one is Real Housewives of New Jersey. Is probably like my favorite reality show. This was back when it first came on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like these New Jersey Italians are crazy, and I'm here for it.
First it was Black Ink. Now that fell off. Now New Jersey took that spot. Yeah, he used to watch Black Ink too.
Yeah, up to like the 4th season. Then it started getting like super scripted. I was like, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
New Jersey Housewives has to be like my favorite. And my favorite couple out there, of course, is Melissa and Joe Gorga.
Why are they your favorite couples?
Because I mean, they're like the funniest. They've been married, I think, like the longest out of all of them.
I don't know.
And I mean, I think so. I mean, look at the rest of them. The rest of them.
They are. What, are they even married? They might have been. Yeah. I would say the rest of them married. You know, you have to be married to be a housewife.
Oh, like is the older lady? Is she married now?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. That's like it's only one married, like 2 married couples out there, and that's just the older lady and who actually cheated on her husband. And her husband cheated. Husband. Yeah. It was a mess.
See, look, he's invested. He knows the plot line.
Yeah. So.
But do you think because they resemble you, their favorite couple?
I don't really think they resemble us.
I didn't say us. I said you.
No, he doesn't resemble me. I just have some. I have an understanding of him as like the most realistic married man on the show. You know what I'm saying? In regards to what, of course, he portrays himself to be, because I don't know him in real life. But there was a very interesting episode, like 2 episodes ago. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact,
it's been a continuing theme.
Episode 8. It's been like, this is like the ongoing storyline of season 11. It's basically Joe and Melissa's marriage and their kind of butting heads in regards to Melissa's sort of independency or her maturation throughout the marriage, and Joe's, on what it looks like, his unwillingness to acquiesce to what she has become.
Breaking tradition.
Yeah.
Breaking tradition. And I know on the show, it's not because it's an Italian thing, but I was really thinking about it. It's not really an Italian thing. Most countries, cultures, it's expected that the women kind of stay home and be a housewife, and i.e. Housewives of New Jersey.
Sure.
And the husband's supposed to go out and provide.
Yeah, we live in a still to this day, very patriarchal society where women are sometimes viewed as second-class citizens, even though they're not. They are the backbone of everything that we hold near and dear. Without women, we would have nothing. All right, shout out to all the real women out there.
Explain why we're bringing this up about this video.
All right, so I just cold. We're gonna watch it and then we're gonna talk about it.
Okay, this is the problem. We used to just be so attached, and I'm still like that. She just changed. You turned into this different businesswoman.
If I have a little success in my own personal life, it's not against you. This is what this fight is really about. Let your wife have a little something that's my own. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It started a couple years ago with envy.
This wasn't our deal. Our deal was, I get married to you, you watch the kids, I gotta work.
I'm not home as much as I used to be. I have to go to Fashion Week, and I have to go to the trade shows. We're here shopping for my boutique to try to get some different brands and things for the store. I have appearances, I have red carpets, and if it were up to him, I would just cook and clean. I'll be here at 4 with your dinner.
Maybe we grew apart. It's just life. It's
All right,
okay.
so we're growing apart.
Maybe we are.
Maybe we are.
I think what happened.
Are you kidding
You
me?
give so much love.
I give you so much love.
If you loved me, you would say, what did I do wrong? Hold on, maybe you're right.
All right, so let me kiss your ass. Joe's throwing a hissy fit, everyone. Let me kiss his ass. You are f***ing spoiled.
Be careful what you say, because I'll never talk to you again.
Why? I kissed your ass for how many years? So sit home while I go to work now.
All right.
You are so spoiled.
That's basically season 11 in a nutshell.
And what's kind of different because they don't usually argue, at least on TV.
Nah, they pretty much been
Thick as
playing.
thieves.
Yeah, been playing it real close to. Usually play real close to the vest. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And me looking at it, especially this is something that we've had discussed before in the past too, and this is really like a twofold conversation.
Yeah.
The first part of this conversation is support or like spousal support when it comes to me want to do something. Are you going to be there for me? And then it also comes to the point of understanding when you start to shift in your marriage. And those two things are kind of coalescing at the same time.
Well, and see, I'm throwing a third one. Do he have the right to say, I don't want this?
True.
You know, especially, when I'm just going to explore, we're going to explore all sides.
Yeah.
Especially, if that's his dream marriage and how he viewed marriage. Honestly, he has the right to say, this is how I want to be in a relationship with. This is what I want my marriage to look like. He does have that right. However, she has the right to say, that's not me anymore.
Yeah.
She has the right to grow.
Yeah, she does. Because the funny thing too, like I think the next episode, he talks about how, and they have, of course, had a nice little montage of basically him saying like, I've supported you, like you trying to, because they probably because the storyline this year is basically Joe Gorga is a male chauvinist and he's old fashioned and he's like, he's a barbarian out here. That's what they're trying to paint it as, and how they have wrote it is because he also said something like on one of the other housewives, and it was a lot of pocket for that. He shouldn't have said all that. So now it's like, yo, you a chauvinist. You shouldn't be talking to women like this. Now you don't treat your wife well. You don't support your wife. And then it shows him in a montage of him legitimately supporting his wife. Like when
even when he said that to the person, the people in the party got offended, not the person he was saying it to.
But still, that's what I'm saying.
She didn't take offense. She was like, "Oh, that's him. Like that's our relationship."
Yeah, but it's still the storyline for the reality show. So then it shows him basically when he was able to make a student in his own house when she wanted to sing. You know what I'm saying? Basically being able to make the shop for her when she wanted to start selling clothes. So he's like, I've supported my wife every bit of the way.
Which is support.
But now that support has started to shift to where she's like, yeah, you supporting me, but I don't think you really like fully into this.
Is there a difference? Like if you financially support someone, does that mean you emotionally support someone?
No, of course not.
And that's what I think is he financially supported her, but now with this business, is he emotionally there?
Yeah, and that's the thing that isn't really being articulated because he still because most other times, like most men, our feelings are hurt, right? So we don't really react in being very introspective and explain those feelings. Our next action is what? It's anger. So hence you see this explosion. He probably been holding this in for a minute because it's something as simple as his wife leaving him sparks him to be that metaphor of him leaving her in general. You know what I'm saying? So that whole correlation to him in his mind is like, oh, this is just another thing. You really just walking in front of me? Like, you didn't want to like be here with your husband? Going back to the point he was saying, like, yo, we was here together. We were so close. You know what I'm saying? That in the point of him actually questioning her love for the marriage. Like, there's a lot
that
of...
went to one extreme.
Yeah,
to like
of course. But that's how he's viewing this, all as one amalgamation.
And Steve, I wonder because now this business, Envy's, her clothing store, is really on this thing. It sounds like it's doing well. So before he goes on to later on another episode saying, well, I just want not to be left behind. We used to do all this stuff together. And I think her stance is, I'm an individual person. I don't need you to go with me, which I agree.
Yeah.
I don't need you to go with me everywhere. At this time, I'm trying to have me, which I agree with her. You know, it's I feel like in certain journeys, and you know, we had this conversation. In certain journeys where even though you're married, you had to do certain things alone.
Yeah, very much so.
But I said we had this conversation. Rashad was pretty much if I mentioned something happened, and typically of a male, it was already solution mode. I'm gonna jump in and do it. And I'm saying, no, some stuff there's not for you to jump in and do it. I need to have the journey so I can learn from it. So I feel like she's built this. Yes, he helped her support, but where she's going, he doesn't need to go. Especially they got young children at home. Someone got to be at home with it. Both of y'all can't be on the road. But I feel, and see, that's another thing. Sometimes I'm glad it doesn't seem like she's having mommy guilt, because when dad can go and explore the world, he's like, I'm doing this for us. But she's still doing the same thing. It's like, no, you got to be in the home to raise these kids. Like,
yeah, that's
so
definitely
are you.
Clear double standard.
Yeah, you have a dad. You're a dad.
Yeah. The interesting part is just the whole notion how one person, especially like from a male perspective, like I had this thing set up how I really wanted it, you know what I'm saying? And now it's not like it was before, and it's really bothering me. And because I can't eloquate my feelings correctly, it just comes across as me being a jerk. And
you trying to squash the dream.
Yeah. Like I'm just man, not even that. Like I'm just gonna say little small things to like create sort of see the doubt in your mind, and which is manipulation. But yeah, that happens a lot too, because I mean, even like for myself, like sometimes I don't really realize like how much impact what I say really has on you. And because even when I'm thinking we get to a certain place where like it doesn't matter anymore, but like it still does matter. And I think if you get to a place where it doesn't matter anymore, then you need to reevaluate your relationship. Because why is it that it doesn't matter? Why is it that you don't? What you say doesn't matter? I think that's a relationship evaluation check. Yeah, you should care what I say, and I should care what you say. But yes, sometimes Rashad doesn't believe that what he said can really like deflate me a little bit. True. I mean, that is very true. Because sometimes I think like, yo, like, especially when it comes to opinions and things like that, we're still talking about support and transitioning. Sometimes I think we can be moving to a place where like I can be honest about stuff, but if my honest doesn't have any sort of tactfulness to it, then it's still the same thing. Right. So going back to, okay, you're honest. That's like, okay, we serving this gourmet meal, but we serving it on top of a trash can and you presenting it. It might be a gourmet meal, but look at the presentation. Especially me. I most people, if they want to admit it or not, I see your body language before I hear what you say. So when I see that, conversation down. And then in this couple, they're doing it in front of people, which on the show, at least, they usually don't do that unless they don't show if they are arguing in front of people. So which
adds another level of you ain't gonna punk me.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the notion of like winning and losing, which I don't really like ascribe to at all anymore, because nobody wins that. Like everybody loses.
And then people pick sides.
Which they were literally doing, right?
Yeah, they pick sides, but you did it in front of them, and you gave them
you gave them the right to pick sides.
Pick sides, yeah. Especially if you want to be vocal about other people's relationship.
Yeah, you definitely put yourself out there in that regard. Going back to what you said about your third point, like, does he have a right not to want to accept that? I think it's a very double-edged sort of situation.
Agreed.
Because it's crazy, because if that's the case, he doesn't want to accept it, then he basically enabled his wife to be independent, even though he thought she was going to fail. And I think that's more of a like a not a great way. Mm-hmm. It's not a good life for him.
Or he never thought that it would, not necessarily think it was fail, but didn't think that it was going to get like this. Where your spouse may not be home no more.
You didn't think it was,
and you can't go. At first, it was fun because we all red carpet and flashing, and now it's like, no, I need to go do this on my own.
Not even that. Like, nah, this is like my legit job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't need you here with my employees, and you don't need to do that. So I don't know if he necessarily thought it through that it would get to this point where he's not needed anymore, and I think that's a real issue.
Yeah.
Not being needed.
Yeah.
And I hear some abandonment issues.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Especially like the whole thing of like him, like his wife, kind of just like, you know, going to the car first. Like, fam, like, she's going to the car. Y'all,
where are you going?
Yeah, like, y'all are upset. She's mad. Like, that's why she walked in front of you in the first place. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So,
but even when saying in front of you, from what they showed here, it was like her, him. So it wasn't the in front of me wasn't like.
It wasn't like she got in the car and just like left him.
Yeah, and it was like a party bus, so they wait for everybody to come on.
Yeah.
And that's something I really tried not to do, arguing in public, because it just make everything so
it's so awkward. You know what I'm saying?
Awkward. And then you kind of feel like a level of boost, like, you ain't gonna say this in front of me. Like, I'm gonna. It turns into a fight. Like, I'm trying to take you down.
That's one thing we really don't do. And as pissed off as we may be in public with each other around the people, we will not bring that energy outside.
It's kind of like I give them the eye, like, wait till we get home. It's going down.
It's like.
And seriously, we kind of give each other the eye,
like, now I wasn't feeling that, y'all.
Yeah. Like, when we get in that house. But I think that's it. Really is important to try to hold your arguments, and definitely not for the tizoop.
Another Martin reference. Go ahead.
I know. I'm on the road. I don't know. Yeah. I've been watching him.
Yeah.
But especially when you're on camera, and then even though later on she goes and is upset for people chiming in on her relationship, but they have a history of chiming in on other people's relationships.
Yeah, you gave them that power too in that moment.
It was like, oh, you gave me something now.
Like, oh wow,
gotcha.
Because I don't think that's ever happened like that.
No.
Yeah.
No. But I agree. I think he has the right to change his mind. She has the right to change her mind and say, this is not for me. Even there's always so much mom guilt. That I don't think fathers necessarily have. I can't say all, but I think if a mother's not home, it's like, from my experience when I work at night, you're not at home with your babies. So what your babies doing? They got a father. So you leave him at home? No. So if it was him, it's okay, And then I'm be honest, I felt that mom guilt too. Like, I'm leaving my babies home alone. I'm still nursing, and they home with their dads. So I think we put guilt on ourselves. And I like the way she's standing up for herself and just pretty much want to accept it. Like, this is who I am now. And even she said, like, she had that dream of being a house mom too. Like, she had that dream, but something awakened. And when she starts seeing that she can do different things, she wants to explore it. So,
yeah, even like before, I remember when they was having a conversation, like, not out in public by themselves. She was saying She's like, Joe, like I remember when you first met me, I was working. So it's not like I wasn't working at all. Like I had a job, I was doing stuff for myself. So it's not like I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, obviously, I made the choice to do this and like have children with you and be married and you know help rear our children. Yeah. So that part of it is kind of what people kind of forget at times. Like, yo, like you're an individual, or like I'm an individual, and I have my own individual wants and needs. I need to have the autonomy to explore those things too.
So you're an individual even though you're married.
Definitely.
But in him, even when he referenced her, it's mine.
Yeah.
It's very like she's mine. This is my wife. My Melissa. My.
Yeah.
And if you don't listen to it, it can sound like, oh, that's cute. Like he considers mine. Then you listen to it like, I am a person.
Yeah.
I'm not property.
But that's how it's always been and always referenced. And it's and some of it is, how can I put this? Like, I feel like you are mine. You know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily, you're not property. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a very fine line between saying you're mine and then like, you know, like, oh, you mine. That's a very, let me put Cherry. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's a very distinct difference.
Yeah. And I think from just watching the show, he's very territorial. So even it's like my sister. It's like mine. This is mine. You know what I mean? Like he's peeing on everything in Marcus' territory. Wow. This is my mother. But everything was like.
It's a bad analogy.
But that's what he's doing.
I mean,
didn't they actually use that analogy there in that show? I want to say they did actually.
Yeah, somebody could have said it. I don't know. That's yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Is it the bait and switch? Like, is it? Not some people like when we got married, we say agree to this, and then all of a sudden you switch up on me and say the opposite.
No, it's not a bait and switch. It's just, I mean, we went to like maybe like 3 or 4 incarnations of this discussion in our marriage, where up to like I say year 1, it's like year 6, 7. That's like the first time we had to sit down. Like, yo, like this isn't really working the way it should, and I'm upset, you're upset, we're at odds, don't really understand why. And then because we had a conversation, I was in the kitchen and you was looking through, I was looking through the breakfast nook, like we had a conversation like, yo, like we need to figure this out because we just at odds, and like I don't feel like doing this but for so long. You know what I'm saying? And then this conversation happened again right before Madison was born. Right around that time. Ago? Yeah.
12, 13 years ago.
Yeah. Then it happened again. You know what I'm saying? So like so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like there's ebbs and flows to marriage. Like you have to be able to accept that I'm not entirely the same Rashad and you're not entirely the same Kesha.
Kesha at 16 is different than Kesha at this age. Be quiet. But it is a different, and part of it is good because who wants when you get a new car, when you get a new house, when you get anything, what are you looking for? The latest model. Right. So why is it only with people you want them to be their 16, 15, 14, their old self? Why can't we move and change just like we want new products? Why can't we be new?
That's a good point. I don't have anything to say about it. That's a very revelatory thing to say. Yeah. I mean, that's good.
You shouldn't want me. Kesha at 16, I feel like the Bible said, when I was a child, spoke as a child. When I became an adult, I put away childish things.
Amen.
That's you. After some while, you want that childish things to be put away, and you need to do adult things. She's adulting, and this also benefits. She has children to see that she has girls and boys. For them to see mommy out here doing it too. And then, God forbid, and this I have run in being in the mental health field, run into so many women that when their husband passed, they're absolutely lost. I mean, like...
Or just leave.
Or, yeah. Or, leave or pass away. Like, how do I pay the light bill? What's the password for this? So for her to say, okay, not to say she wants them to leave, but to have some kind of like, I can be secured in myself. I know how to go out here and do what I need to do for my family in the case of an event. You know, because her father died when she was young.
Yeah.
So her mother had to essentially go out there and be like, okay, I got to do this. Yeah. I can't let my family fall because my husband not there no more. So I think it's wise. I hope he catches up with the times. and realize he got a new model. It's okay for her to change. And also, even with this mindset, when they become empty nesters, what do you expect her to do? And that's how you see most people losing themselves, because my life was my husband, my children. Now my children like, Mom, I don't need you. And they're not adults, but they're teenagers where they're like, Mom, I don't need you like that.
Yeah.
What do you do with your time? What do you do with your life? Your life depending on if they breathe or not.
I feel you on that. That's a good transition to end. I mean, to look at people's life like under this sort of microscope, one is to be honest, is really unfair. And then two, the way reality TV works, if there is no actual storyline, then we ain't gonna know about you anyway. So
you gotta create something.
So there has to be some sort of tension because of course, normal storytelling. If there is no conflict, there is no story. So there has to be some sort of conflict that has a clear plot diagram. You know what I'm saying? The start was laid early on. Now we're basically right around the climax of this thing. Now we got to see how it
because the plot
resolves.
shifts. Remember,
of
it
course.
was about
Teresa and her whole
yeah.
drama. And that was like 5 seasons, 6
right.
seasons.
So now that's kind of like now it's like we
nobody cares about Teresa dating that weird looking dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's really this has to be like the best, the most
deported.
Yeah, he's in Sicily.
Well, her ex-husband.
You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't even in the States no more. He can't even come back. So this has to be the most relevant storyline. If y'all like us doing this type of stuff, let us know in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't. I try to be topical, but still have an actual relevant thing to say in regards to marriage. It just can't be like we out here just talking about reality TV, because that's boring to me. Like anybody can do that and have a little 2 cents on it. But this right here, if you want to have real conversations about things that you guys see, just let us know. We can kind of incorporate this a little more. But if you stay this long, you're the MVP for real. We appreciate you. Again, we have Bad Batch review. Me and Maddie doing that. Actually, a pretty good series. I'm very surprised. Disney's doing a really good job with that. And that's really it. We will see you guys next Monday, 7 a.m. Brand new episode. And until then, we see you guys later.
See you later.